listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. If you'd like to text us so that we can sort of communicate with you and you become integral to the show, you can text us on 81215. If you want to follow our show on Twitter, which also gives you an interactive option, but also you have that, you know, the role of the observer if you'd prefer that, you can get us at Frank on the radio. Or another communication route, maybe for the, you know, for the more settled at home, email the show via the Absolute Radio website. There's your options, and we'd love to hear from you.
I love that. I like that you were sort of applying them to different personality types. Are you mostly A's, essentially, you were saying in that?
Yes, I've been asking that for years.
I like the idea of the settled at home.
Yeah, I think some people, when you're settled, I don't think you want to tweet. You feel like you've opened the door up to the main high street.
You're right.
Chris has tweeted us, Frank.
Oh.
He says, I was wondering, if you forget your wallet in a restaurant, do you still have to do the washing up?
Oh.
I think that ship sailed, hasn't it?
Well, I wondered about that when, you know those sushi, I think they're called sushi virgin restaurants, where they eat the sushi from a naked woman lying on a table.
Oh.
And if I said, I've left my wallet in my other...
Would I wash up? Yeah.
I don't know if they'd fall for that.
No.
So that's anyway. I haven't heard of anyone washing up in a restaurant. I imagine you just get sued. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like the good old days. I'll tell you what I had this week, which is... have you ever had this? I mean, it might... I know when comedians say, just me then, that means the joke has just gone down the toilet, but... Do you ever have that thing when you're walking along and you've had a drink and it's just splashing about inside you, like you're not
I know that.
Like you're not a complicated mammal at all. You're just like a receptacle. I had that this week, and I thought, why has this happened? I could just hear so walked along, like being a bottle of something.
You just hit. I know the audible sloshing.
Yeah, what is that?
I've had it many. Do you get it, Alan?
Yeah, I've had that. Yeah.
But why it doesn't happen very often? Usually it goes down into it goes down into the internal.
Well, let's not say
workings.
where it goes down into.
Well, no, but it's, you know, it's subsumed.
It goes down into the not without an engagement ring areas.
Yeah, it does. But eventually, but what I mean is, when you swallow it, it goes somewhere quiet quite quickly.
Oh, yeah.
It goes into a padded area of some kind.
I think of it as a business lounge.
Yeah, but why?
At the airport.
But what about the just splashing about like it hasn't gone anywhere?
Been denied entry to the quiet part.
Oh, well, I wonder that. I think if I left the plug in or something.
It always sounds a bit, I don't know, other cordials are available, Frank, obviously, but I always imagine it as being a bit Robinson's cordial.
That's what it's all about.
Yes.
That's what it's about.
What have I been drinking? I mean, I do drink a lot of barley water, but I think I've just been drinking water.
Really?
No, I'm not.
You got a slosh from water?
It's a weird boast from you that I do drink a lot of barley water.
I do.
People tuning in going, legend!
Yeah. But it's not like I'd done a sort of Irish coffee type drinking to try and make it sit on the surface in any way. But I could walk it. This is what I could hear as I walk down the street. No, I shouldn't be making that. I'm a human being, for God's sake.
You are. I mean, that's what I've always categorised you as.
All right, Frank, yeah, fine. What's that noise? Oh, it's me. If there's anyone who knows the way around the human anatomy listening...
Oh, we might get some
not you, mate.
Don't want those guys
Not you.
texting the show.
We might get some lovely doctors, Frank. I like a doctor, me.
I bet there'll be doctors listening to this, won't they?
No,
Terrible hangovers they'll have.
Terrible.
You know, when they're pushing around each other in beds, larking around.
Yeah.
Oh,
On the
God,
vitamin drips.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I've got a sort of a halfway house message from the producer here. We have Sarah, who normally does things like make the tea and arrange the chocolate biscuits. When I say arrange, I mean...
Oh, don't say it like that.
No, but they're displayed on the plate like when you get a cash prize in a TV quiz show. You know,
Can I tell you what they are,
You know, the
Frank?
money's splayed into a fan.
They're very Bully's special prize. Notes in a tankard.
They are, yeah. And they splay out on the... You look like, if you could hold them in exactly the right place, these chocolate digestives, you could fan yourself
They're fanned.
with them. But if you could just get them to hold together, maybe some slight melting. If we let them melt a little bit and then put them into a fridge, I reckon you could use it as a plate.
Well, I think this is because she's a perfectionist, and whether she's making the tea or the biscuits or producing the show, she will apply the same high standards.
I think you're right. I'm just going to nip over to the fridge and see if there's any in there. I'm off. I'm away.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Oh, we've had our first sloshing.
Oh, explanation.
No, not an explanation. Morning, Frank, Emily and Alan. I thought I would be interactive this morning, as I usually listen to your podcast. Just had to say, I had the sloshing about feeling yesterday when I was in a gym class.
Oh.
I could feel my water sloshing as I was on the floor doing the plank position.
Oh.
The plank position's not a good position.
You don't want to be sloshing when you're
Quite
planking.
fairly stable, though.
Quite tummy intensive, though, isn't it? You don't want to feel like
The
you're
sloshing will make you feel like it's hanging down.
a giant water bag.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought you were moving enough in a plank position to be
Maybe.
sloshing.
Well,
Maybe
I get
Jane
sloshing
from
when
Coventry was
sitting
doing-
down sometimes. Have you not
Really?
had that?
Just sitting sloshing?
I might be watching a Love Island catch-up, something like that, and it's just starts
That's a different
sloshing.
type of sloshing.
And I'm going to play devil's advocate. I think Jane from Coventry might well have been going from, like, central planks to side planks or something like that. She could have been doing...
okay. Maybe
gym
she was doing a
classes.
full sun salutation.
Maybe.
She'd been down
Yeah.
with dog, you know. She'd
Yeah,
gone.
maybe.
Yes.
If you've had that strange sloshing feeling during your yoga practice, text 812.
Or any other
Actually,
practice.
don't feel that you have to.
But not any other practice. Any other practice we can talk about on Breakfast Radio. I want a technical explanation of why most drinks just go to the quiet place. They go on the quiet coach.
Yeah.
And some won't acknowledge that they've left a bottle and gone into a mammal.
They won't go quietly.
Every time I say I'm a
Into
mammal,
the
I have a
night.
bit of a doubt that I'm a mammal. And we're going to get some text saying, you're not a mammal, you idiot.
No, I think you're pretty much a mammal.
Do you know what? You're so mammal.
You're so mammal.com. You're so mammalsupermarket.com. That's what you are.
Got so many domains to buy.
Yeah, I know. Oh, do people still buy domains?
Oh,
Oh, I
I've
don't
got
know. They're
tons of them.
valuable still.
I don't know if they are. As the internet gets a bit old-fashioned,
That's how
I
I
only
do all
really
my
ever
trading.
look. I only do the dark web now. I don't bother with the light one. And the domain names on the dark web, you
Yeah,
wouldn't want to buy
different,
any of
aren't
those.
Oh, terrible.
They're all like, you know, Alfie the face,
Oh, yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah. I stayed in a hotel this week.
Oh, get in.
Lovely.
I drink a lot of barley
that's
water.
legend.
I stay in hotels.
Where was it?
It was in Milton Keynes.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, yeah. No, I like Milton Keynes. One of the
too.
few places.
Buckinghamshire.
One of the few places I can drive without getting lost.
Really?
I love a grid. There's
A
no
lot of
grid.
roundabouts there, though, isn't it?
Oh, no, but
Oh, is it? They've based it on a grid system, like,
yeah,
like Manhattan.
I can visualise a grid, yeah, but I can't. Other than that, I'm always lost. So I look forward to going there. Not that I was driving myself, of course.
So what were you doing there? Did you have one of your little shows?
I had one of my little shows there, but I tell you what I like when I'm in a hotel is that what I've started doing.
I don't think I want to hear this story.
No. I mean, I'm not anymore.
Okay.
I look forward to the shower a great deal.
Oh, yeah.
You know why? Because at home, although I've got a few bob, I'll be straight with you.
Yeah. I don't think you've ever kept that a secret.
I'm still a bit careful on the product. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm a little bit.
Why?
Because I always think, tomorrow is another day, and who knows how things might turn out. I think by the time I get to these Head and Shoulders, my career could be, down the toilet.
You and I are so different like that.
Yeah.
I know. But in a hotel, I tell you, sometimes in a hotel, the product splashes on the floor, and I don't even peel it up and put it back on me,
No.
which I do at home.
What, you gather it from the floor?
I gather it from the floor. You see like a big... If you're using, let's say, a burnt almond body wash, and then you get that sort of... let's call it ochre, that ochre splash on the floor.
Do you scoop?
I'll scoop and put it back on me.
Really?
Yeah, waste not, whatnot. But when it's the hotels, oh, man.
I think once it's
crazy.
down there, I treat it very much like foodstuffs. I think
Gone.
that's it now. It belongs to the drain.
Oh, I thought...
Much like the sloshing has
you
no
meant you
business
knelt
being.
down and licked it up.
I stayed at a hotel the other week with free exfoliator gloves.
Oh, wow.
I was like Mickey Mouse in the shower.
That sounds great. Did you have them? Did you...
I didn't take them away.
Didn't?
They were full. They were full of skin by the time at the end of the week. Yeah, and I don't know how you empty an exfoliator glove.
I'll show you.
Is it like a dog brush? You go the other way on it. But I love it's like ancient Rome. I really absolutely...
What is, seeing you in the shower?
No, putting lots of products
Oh,
on.
unctions.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
That's oil, isn't it, unction?
Yeah, you can still use it.
There's a ceremony...
Trust me, this is my area.
There's a ceremony in the Catholic Church called extreme unction. This is my area.
I thought that was on Channel 5.
I think it might be the last rites, another name for... Sorry about that. But I've gone from lovely hotels to all the grimmer side of Roman Catholicism. But hey, don't you just love the excess of other people's product?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I wouldn't like that
think I like this.
I think that sentence should be taken out of context. I'm talking about...
Let's not use that as the trail.
I'm talking about what I think young girls call smellies.
Yeah.
Ha. I mean you, sir.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Oh, I'm writing a new book.
Are you?
Yeah, it's called Why I Moisturise.
Oh, yeah.
And it's
Is it?
all about moisturising and how I didn't used to. I didn't think it mattered.
And what's it called, Frank?
Why I moisturise.
Okay.
Why moisturise?
I'm waiting for the part.
Oh.
Yeah, me too. Hi.
What? No, that's it. I was thinking about it this week. I think there's still a little hangover of anti-moisturising. It used to be a thing that, what do they call them? Those, not metropolitan men, there's something politan. Metrosexual men.
Right.
Moisturising. I'd be lost without it. I'm sorry, guys. I know there's guys listening to this in the black country thinking, what are you talking about?
Well,
What you're about? What moisturising? You old Joshin, are you? But trust me.
I love the idea that you'd be lost without something when you're frequently lost with whatever you are doing.
I've moved on from moisturiser.
You've moved on from
I
it?
was
thought you looked
gifted
dry.
something.
Oh, that you're post-moisturiser.
Yeah. Hear me now. I was gifted this product this week, Photography Fluid Opacity. I don't know who makes it. I don't know where it's from. I'm not getting paid for this. It is extraordinary. I'm going to put some on you
Do you have to apply it
today.
in a dark room? I don't know if I want it on me.
Frank, don't know if you... As if my products aren't good enough for you. You should be so lucky.
It sounds dangerous.
You tell him.
You should be
tell
so
him,
lucky.
It
Right,
makes
that
you
could
look-
be a good... What about if there was a bit that went...
It makes you look good in selfies.
It's so hot in here, by the way. If we don't turn the heating up, I'm going to have a heart attack.
Turn it up.
Down.
He was complaining about it being cold earlier, just FYI.
Yeah.
So, you,
It's
What
a
if you're not-
total and utter game changer.
well... It's a bit of a... Oh, can I say we didn't set this up in order to get free photographic fluid, if that's what it's
I
called.
don't even know who sells it. I don't
Can
know
you
where you get
develop-
it
can
from.
you
There's no
develop
label
prints?
on it. I just
Really?
love it. Yes, I don't even know who makes it.
I wouldn't have anything on my face that hadn't got a label on it. 8, 12, 15, mate. But we won't read it out.
No. I'm going to do some to you, Frank. We'll do it before and after.
Yeah, but what if I'm an allergic?
Well, these are the risks you take.
Well, I don't think I can take that risk. I mean, I'll be seen in public. I don't want to be inflamed.
Do you want photography fluid opacity on your face?
Yeah.
No. I'm
As I live and breathe.
sticking with simple.
Okay.
I'll have a crack at it. Why not? It's
Amazing
free.
thing with simple is
Free
you put it
fun.
on your face and you think this will never soak in. It'll never soak in a million years. Clean your teeth, look in the mirror. Gone. Every time I get a little kick out of it. I'll be honest. By the way, still
Frank Skinner on moisturiser, ladies and
You
gentlemen.
use it on your teeth as well.
still no explanation for
Wait, I'll tell you.
for sloshing.
None.
What are you people up to?
Frank
Skinner.
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
861 has sent a text, I think voicing the feeling of the whole nation with, it's a very odd show today. Are you all okay?
Is it an odd show?
I think it might
We've talked
be, yeah.
about sloshing.
Just because I've summarised the first chapter of my new book, Why I Moisturise.
Yeah.
If I don't moisturise, I feel like the man in the iron mask. I can feel like my face isn't moving at all.
Well,
Really?
MK Knight says, I've moisturised since I was 18. Last week someone asked me if I was 20. I'm 36 years old. Hashtag Team Moisture.
It's
There you
paid
go.
off.
There you go.
Paid off.
Jonathan Hollis says, hi Frank, I'm a practising Catholic
Okay.
and the extreme unction is a sacrament for anointing the sick,
Yeah.
as you suggested.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's confirming
unction.
that. We use it in a different way in the beauty industry.
Well, you see, that thing with the man in the iron mask, I was obsessed with him as a kid. Are you familiar with the man in the iron mask?
Don't think so.
Yes.
He kept in
course I am.
he kept in prison for many years, but I think he was some sort of slight heir to the throne or something, so he hadn't been hidden away.
One of the Charleses, Frank.
And he's in a sort of you remember Pussy Riot, the
do.
Russian
I do remember them.
agitators.
Yes.
Well, it was like
Dissident punk.
like that, but made of iron.
Oh, yeah.
And I always thought, well, that'd be... You wouldn't get sunburnt, which would be a big plus. But I always thought, what if you were out in the sun thinking, haha, I won't get sun... Not that he went out much.
No.
But what if your iron mask got really hot?
And it would, yeah.
That'd be stifling.
It's like when your iPhone gets too hot and it says
it'd be
too
more than
hot.
stifling, it'd be burning.
I know, but to be in an iron mask... I mean, it's very tight to the head. It's a
no.
snog. All the illustrations, snog to the head.
He's
And
not
as
going
we
to be
know from-
sunbathing, Frank. He's not going to be doing
As we know from
that.
cookery, metal conducts heat. That's how a frying
Yeah.
pan works.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you'd fry your own
That's
face.
why, if you want to make a cup of tea go cool quickly, you put a spoon in it.
Yes.
But as his man with the iron mask, presumably the only issue is to keep the face in the mask. So he could sunbathe, get the body nice and
Oh,
brown, and still keep the mask on, Frank.
Yeah, but you don't want to be sunbathing for a couple of weeks and then sudden pardon out of nowhere and you think, oh, no, now I've got the white head and the brown body. I'm going to look like, terrible. Hot dog.
I hate to interrupt this man in the iron mask.
Pint of Guinness. You look like a pint of
Chat.
Guinness from a
We're
distance.
doing some topical material on the man in the iron mask.
We've had a
please.
sloshing medical update. Frank, the sloshing you are referring to is known medically as a succussion splash. And means that there is reduced gut activity such that the stomach contents are not being processed in the usual way. Dr. S. Buse.
Oh, doctor, thank you.
Thank you, doctor.
S-Buse.
Why did we sound a bit
Oh,
carry
hang
on
on.
when we said doctor? Oh,
Yeah.
I
doctor.
think S. Buse is a pun. Oh, hang
don't
on,
think
imagine
so.
if it was Pews.
What if it was
Dr.
a
Spews.
Buse?
Oh, yeah.
No, I don't think it's a... I'm taking... And what's it called? Succession?
Yeah, I don't know if that's a typo, autocorrect. C-U-C-C.
Okay.
Succussion. Oh, I don't know.
So my gut muscles are having an afternoon off.
Yeah,
If I've
putting
been...
their feet up, having a bit of a
God-
bank
God
holiday. or
knows,
something.
God knows they're
Early
entitled.
Wednesday, something like
And the
that.
good news is, this link will put paid to the It's a Very Odd Show today. Are you all okay?
Yeah,
communique?
exactly. What about haircuts?
What about them?
Man in the iron mask. Isn't the hair steadily working its way around the inner mask, providing some
What if he got an itch? That's what worries me.
a doom-laden underfelt? That's what the hair's going to provide.
He's going to have the beard as well, man in the iron
Oh, he would
mask,
have
when he
the beard.
emerges.
Yeah, but exactly. But there's no room for a beard.
No,
Well, wouldn't the beard
yeah.
eventually push the iron mask off a little?
It'd be growing out the eye holes and the mouth hole. Oh,
You'll
that's
have a
going to look
lovely-
absolutely ridiculous. People say, look, man in the iron mask, it's none of my business. But, I mean, you just look stupid now. You got beard coming out your mouth holes, hair coming... Oh, man, it's gone. Oh, what's going on? You know, I mean, I need spectacles, but if I wear them, I just look stupid.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Speaking of the man in the iron mask looking foolish in spectacles, it's not so long ago when I was at school, Actually, that is not true.
No, it's quite a long time ago.
But when
that's around the time of the Man in the Iron Mask. I believe.
Yeah, indeed. It's when we thought everyone in spectacles looked foolish.
Yeah,
It was a thing that people dreaded,
mocked, weren't they?
Oh, if you had to wear spectacles, that was the end. And
Yeah,
now
right.
people are queuing up for them. Hey?
Are they?
Yeah, oh, yeah. People wear them who don't need them.
Is that
they
what
look
those
cool.
big queues are for when we leave the studio here?
No, that's the trainer drops.
No, but that's
This is
Specsaver queue. Must have seen that. Yeah, it makes me wonder if the baseball cap won't be always associated with foolishness.
I think this is a positive move, though.
Yes.
The spectacles.
No, I think, of course, it is.
It's your people, Frank, aren't they? The spectacles wearers.
Oh, God, yes.
Doctor Who fans, etc.
Yeah.
We've had a communique from the outside world. Morning, Frank and the team. The only one I know, in case people weren't listening earlier, this is Frank's new
I was
game.
talking about the Charlatan song, The Only One I Know, and I was talking about there are things where, I can't remember what my examples were now, of things of the only one I know.
The Saturdays, I believe you use.
The only one I know in the Saturdays is Frankie Sanford, for example. My example would have been UKIP, but the only one I know isn't in it anymore.
Morning, Frank and the team. The only one I know from Iceland is Björk. From Denmark is Peter Schmeichel. And on a more musical theme, the only one I know from Motorhead was Lemmy.
Yeah.
Happy Sloshing, Chris on the North Circular.
The only one I know from Coldplay is Chris Martin.
Good point. I think that's for. I think even the other members of Coldplay only know Chris Martin. They probably.
I know the other ones.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Do you?
Guy Berryman.
Oh,
Thank you.
well, that's good.
Respect to Monday.
Yeah, indeed.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
We've also had an email entitled "Moisturising" because you're very pro moisturising. It's been like a political broadcast from you, hasn't it?
I'm just saying,
on behalf of the pro
people
moisture line.
Specifically, photography fluid capacity.
I mean, you might expect it from Emily. But
Yes.
Yeah, you might,
You know,
yeah.
you might hear my accent and think, I bet he scorns all moisturisation. You'd be wrong.
I imagine that's exactly what they think.
Yeah.
You should try coconut oil for moisturising. A fantastic oil also can be used in cooking. So whilst cooking, you can slap some on the skin. Also can be used in a survival situation for lighting a fire, and is also fantastic at burning fat when eaten. It's also great for dewy-looking skin, and populations that eat coconut oil are very healthy. Take the Tokalowans,
No, you take them. I don't have time.
who live in the South Pacific. They eat over 60% of their calories from coconuts.
Wow,
Are the biggest consumers of saturated fat in the world.
Wow!
He continues, these people are in excellent health with no evidence of heart disease.
What are they called?
The Tokalowans?
You think they'd have got coconut into it, some of the Coca-Lowans?
You would.
Yeah.
Can I say, before Emily moisturised me, which I think the photographs are going to go on the social media any moment now.
Yeah.
But I moisturise with coconut oil quite often.
Do you?
Yeah.
I've
Did it before bed last night.
my mother-in-law.
This
Doing
is
mother-in-law
comedy. This is
material with
comedy.
moisturiser material.
Finally.
She uses it for cooking, and I have to
What,
say,
coconut oil?
Yeah, I hate it. So you have a shepherd's pie, and it's got a kind of a Caribbean feel
who's
to
making
it.
coconut oil with shepherd's pie?
So it means that you can.
Lard.
It's got a coconutty taste. You know, it's out of place. No shepherd harvests coconuts
No,
in
they
this
don't.
country.
No.
No,
Are there still shepherds?
Oh God, yeah.
Really?
I saw one this morning on the way in.
I thought they were a bit Man in the Iron Mask.
No.
I wouldn't be surprised if we get inundated with shepherd texts now.
No, there'll
We'll
be
have loads of
shepherds.
Oh, that'll be
Definitely.
like my Northampton clown.
them. Oh, yeah.
I suppose there
all
could be.
over.
I mean, it could be part of a greater farming task.
I was going to say, wouldn't you be a farmer? That would be one thing you do in your day.
Do they
Yeah.
have crooks? That's the question. If they,
Oh.
which I always imagine
love a
was
crook, Frank.
just hooking round the sheep's neck. I'd be sorry to hear it was anything other than that. 8:12:15.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cotran. Text the show on 8:12:15. We'd love you to. Follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio. We'd like you to. Email the show via the Absolute Radio website. Please yourself. There you go, there's the options.
I like that catchphrase, please yourself.
I think Frankie Howard already took it, didn't he? Well,
Or is it Frankie Howard?
He's not please yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's not using it anymore.
He won't sue. The estate won't sue.
So for I think it's the third or fourth week in a row, we have to discuss the upheavals in various jobs in the public eye.
Yep, everyone's
quitting.
Oh.
Everyone's quitting.
You know what it is? Bit of nice weather. People think, do I need this? They sit at their desk.
Yeah.
They look outside. There's girls in summer dresses going
That's
past.
it. They're done.
And
They get
think,
heady.
come on, wasting it.
One of them we knew about last week. We discussed David Cameron saying that he was going to resign, but I don't think any of us realised it was going to move that quickly, did we? Now
He hasn't wasted any time.
Oh, goodness me! Did we hear
Did
his
someone do a
humming?
bit of sloshing just then?
I think Frank did a little
I think
reverse
it was-
burp, as my brother would
don't know.
call it.
What was that sloshing, Frank?
No, it's one of those moments when you feel something move in your inner being. And it goes,
What's going on in your body at the moment?
Like that, it went. I think it's like a sort of reversing sound, like bosses make.
Oh, you've
but
got-
because
Are
it's
you
in your
okay?
interiors. I feel fine. Oh my God! Tablets in my.
It's the Frank's got an 18-wheeler in his reversing in his stomach.
There'll be other moments like that.
A lot of
Oh, I'm
activity,
sure.
isn't there?
But it'd be better if they were off air, is what we're saying.
I appreciate that, but at my age, I'm just glad there's any sort of signs of life coming from down there.
I think they're privileged to be inside your little physique.
Thank you so much.
Speaking of
What I'm worried is they're desperately trying to get out.
we're going to speak of noises that
Yeah.
we're not sure if the person deliberately made or not. Did you hear David Cameron's little humming moment after his speech when he walked back to
yes.
the door of number 10? Do we think it was
Did I
accidental?
hear it, Al? It's one of the only impressions I can do, along with Adrian Charles and
go
Dressmaker
on.
from Gypsy Wedding.
Let's have it then.
Cameron's Lament. Can you do it, Frank?
And it goes sort of do-do-da-da, doesn't it?
Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do.
So that's what it sounds like it's going to be.
Yeah. Well, there's been some debate about the significance of the...
I definitely think there is a
Stanza.
significance. I don't think
Do
it's
you?
just... Yeah, I think it's... to me, it's like a cryptic crossword. Like it's... You know, he's a clever enough guy. He's gone, I'll give him a bit of this. And then they can just spend their times working it out.
Oh, how do you think?
You know, when a person says to you, magenta that's ill is such... and you go, oh, God, just tell me the answer. I think it's that. I think he's...
He said afterwards, I'll do it again. Do-do-do-do. Right. And I quite like the right.
Now, the right, I think I can explain.
Come on, then.
Because, I don't know if you remember, but we did this ages ago, but David Cameron, before he does a speech, doesn't have a wee.
Oh, that's right.
So he likes to do his speeches when he's desperado. So he's just done a speech, he gets in, right,
Yeah.
where's that toilet?
I thought it was his equivalent of, well, look.
Yeah.
No,
Something-
I bet you toilet was the next port of call.
Oh, you're
point.
right.
People are suggesting that the humming tune was either The West Wing or possibly The Great Escape. And The Great Escape would definitely be a joke, wouldn't it? If he was saying, I'm out
The
of
Great
here.
Escape is da-da-da-da-da.
Oh, is it?
Da-da-da-da-da.
And
Something like that.
Shostakovich's Fifth Symphony, some suggested, I have to be honest, I'm not familiar with that.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not. It's a hell of a... I mean, we get some strange
Only one I
gags.
know, Beethoven's Fifth.
You know, I thought the man on the in the Iron Mask stuff was slightly strange comedy material, but Shostakovich... I mean, come on.
Remember when we talked about Cameron's Beats headphones? Do you think that's what he was listening to on the EasyJet plane he was on?
I used to work with a guy who used to sort of get in the car and go, ba 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 ba. No tune, just no tune. Just couldn't cope with silence.
I respect the no tune. It reminded me, it was the sort of thing you'd do, Frank. And it slightly endeared him to me. I've got to be honest, I liked him
okay.
after the...
Yeah, I had a moment of liking him at
Well, he was
that point.
I
So
can
did I.
say
It
he's
felt
about,
very human,
He's
the human-
about to move into a 17 million pounds house in West London. So
Yeah.
it reminded me. If you ever read the script to My Fair Lady, there's a stage direction, and Alfred Doolittle, a man who's avoided work his whole life and been something of a scallywag, finds out that his daughter has moved in with a rich man, and he says he exits like a man bound for El Dorado. And I thought Cameron exited like a man bound for a £17 million house in West London.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
You know what it sounded a bit like, Frank, Cameron's Lament?
Go on.
Are you familiar with Clannad, the Hooded Man, the Robin Hood theme music? They used to go, Robin. It sounds a bit like do-do-do-do, the Hooded Man. I thought that's what it sounds
that exact
like.
song.
Is that because David Cameron took from the rich and gave to... No, couldn't be that.
Oh, lovely
it's a
little bit of
reversal of
politics.
that.
He's got a bit Ben Elton.
It could have been. I like the
Ben
idea.
Elton material.
I like the idea it was West Wing because it's the sort of thing that would be in his mind, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it reminds me, I've told you before about when I was with Eric Clapton. And
just another one of your relatable anecdotes.
I was having lunch with Eric Clapton, and I started going diddle-diddle-diddle. He said, "Don't do that." I said, "Don't do what?" He said, "Don't do that." I said, "What?" He said, "You were going diddle-diddle-diddle." I said, "Oh God!" And I've had that a few times. I'm with people, and of course, if they're musicians, I think of a song of theirs. That's happened to me about 4 times. I just started singing the person, and often a song from way back, that they're sick of.
I can't believe you were a bit of a git with Eric Clapton. Imagine Eric Clapton saying, "Don't do that." How embarrassing.
I know when I didn't know I was doing it. Who else have I done it? I've done it with a few people.
Yeah.
Anyway, I wouldn't want that isolated as a trailer for the show.
We've had somebody else suggest that Cameron might have been singing the theme tune to the Muppets. I don't know if that's a little bit of politics or if it genuinely sounded like do-do-do-do.
Well, but the truth is, I'd like to think that when as he just planted a seed for his autobiography, when he answers the question,
maybe.
You see, the thing is, though, I think it was something of a missed opportunity. Because he could have sung anything. It wasn't cryptic, because we don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And whatever it is doesn't sound that entertaining. It should have been like a really bizarre 80s song that you would never have expected, like some Atomic Kitten thing or something.
What about the final countdown by Europe?
There we go. There we go.
I mean, it's got Europe in it. Final countdown. It's got a reference to Countdown, which he'll probably be hosting sometime soon.
Yeah, they all end up on that, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Boris Johnson came in singing Chumbawamba, I get knocked down but I get up again.
Yeah.
I think that was his entrance music again. Not enough Chumbawamba references on modern radio, are there?
No. More than Shostakovich, generally speaking.
Look, I'm proud of that reference.
No, me too. Can you hum it?
What?
Does it go do-do?
I told you, the only one I know when it comes to symphonies is Beethoven.
Well, I went to a Shostakovich concert once, and we sat in the cheap seats at the back where the choir normally sits. You can sit at the back of the stage in a classical. This is a Birmingham Town Hall.
Right? Yeah.
So we were sitting there, lovely. They wheeled on a drum, which was, I would say, 15 feet high. Oh. And when they hit the drum during the big, heavy Shostakovich bits...
You expected a Carry On film to start.
Me and my mate, we could physically feel it. We were getting G-force from the percussion section.
Yeah, that'll shake you about.
There'll be more classical music anecdotes from Frank Skinner tomorrow night on Radio 4. And now a book at bedtime. Keith Chegwin reads Stick of the Dump.
Frank Skinner
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
I have one more observation about David Cameron that I really liked.
Yeah.
I really liked the fact that the day after he and George Osborne were out of their job, they went for a coffee together. Did you see that? There was photographs,
it's
long
a
lens
Portuguese cafe.
They went to a Portuguese... I just love it. I think it's so delightfully obvious and basic. As Emily would say, basic look. Like, they obviously had a phone call the night before. I mean, we're out on our ear. What are we going to do? I suppose we could go for a coffee. I'd like one of those Portuguese tarts. That'd be nice. Why don't we go for a coffee? And they did. Like, it's exactly what I would do if I had lost my job.
Do you know why I like it?
Boris Johnson found me up and said, I'd like one of those Portuguese tarts.
Do you know why I like
slammed
that?
the phone down.
Because I like the idea of men going for a coffee, close quotes. Because it's quite unfamiliar for them. Women, we do it all the time, don't we? We'll say, do you want to meet for a coffee? Obviously, we don't want the coffee, we just want the chat. Men don't really want the chat. Men don't bring their friends for a coffee. When did you last text a male friend saying, fancy a coffee, mate?
Coffee, mate. What happened to that?
Yeah.
No, but would you,
That was
Frank?
always handy to have in the cupboard.
You love
Do you
what
ring
happened to
male
that.
friends for a coffee?
No, I hate coffee.
I do.
Do you?
I hate
But
coffee, and I hate people who don't hate coffee. All right?
What I also like about George Osborne and David Cameron's coffee is that across the road there's about a 20-strong security detail that has to look out for them whilst they're having it.
Yeah.
This is a nice...
Of course,
kick.
they've got that for the rest of their lives.
Yeah,
actually.
forever. On the subject
Hold on,
of
shall we do an impromptu?
Yes.
Come on then, Frank.
Percolators.
Man in the iron mask. Oh, percolators.
Does anyone percolate anymore?
Oh, I haven't percolated for ages.
It used to be a thing. When I first started going, like, for dinner, this was back in Birmingham, people would go for dinner parties. Mm-hmm. People would say, do you want a coffee? I'll percolate. Do you want instant or shall I percolate?
It took so long.
And not... You get all that going on.
Yeah.
Remember those, Al?
But
I do,
has
yeah.
it gone?
I remember the advert where somebody pretended to percolate.
I
Do you
used to be
remember that?
rushed
Oh,
off
yeah.
my feet when my parents would have a dinner party, percolating. Or percolating, as you call it.
But in those days, that was the full coffee conversation. Do you want instant or shall I percolate? That was it. Now people talk about coffee for 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing to say about coffee. Shut up about it. Yes, you.
We've had another, do you remember?
It's not a subject to know about, you see.
No,
Coffee.
but they think it's sophisticated.
I know, but it's not like history,
No.
knowing about coffee. You hear people talk about how they know.
I'm very
They use the
interested in
phrase
the history
real.
of coffee.
Are you?
Yeah.
You are not. No one is. Except fools. Sorry, carry on.
We had a text in. Morning, everyone. Thought I would add to Frank's Do You Remember and Is There Still questions. I think there's a slightly snide tone to this. No, is there still people who put back in 5 mins signs on the front doors to shops? Saw one yesterday and it made me wonder. Keep up. Oh, it's praise.
I saw one recently as well.
What, a back in 5 mins
Back
sign?
in 5 minutes.
Well,
Frank,
they're alive and
I
well.
like it when it has a little clock sign and then an
Oh,
orange
nice.
arrow. Hello.
Nice.
I saw one. It was like a fancy design shop on the South Bank.
Oh,
And
really?
It said back in 5
Oh, I
minutes.
associate it with a more local shop. Like a
Mate,
little...
this was probably a bit postmodern ironic this
Yeah.
time.
Probably we're open.
Yeah.
They're just being cool.
But it's a good one. I mean, if you've got any whatever happened to us,
Yeah.
What happened to this show?
You know what? I've got a jingle just waiting for you.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
We're having some lovely images through, Al,
Oh,
of
yeah.
coffee percolators.
Oh, we?
People still have them.
Well, these aren't the ones of my memory. I remember them with a little white filter in them. Are you talking about those?
Well, you see, I never really got close enough. It was always happening in someone else's kitchen.
Well, it was me running around making it for the Doctor Who villains when I should have been in bed.
Lucky you.
376 has said, Dear Frank, Emily and Alan.
Hold it.
Don't do that, Frank.
Yeah, that's awful.
So Bodgery
To be honest, I just thought you had some lamb in between 2 teeth that you were trying to get.
No, it's too hot for lamb.
I just feel I'm getting
Hang on, it's too hot.
too much insight into your physiology this morning.
No, you might be right.
I percolate every Christmas as I like the sound. 376 says. It's a Christmas treat.
Christmas, get the percolator. Get me socks, those Santa socks. That tie that plays Rushing Through the Stroh in a White Horse Open Sleigh. only does the middle 8. I don't know if it's broken. Only does the middle 8, doesn't do the main chorus. And we'll get the percolator. What do you think, Jeff? Really? I've had enough. No, come on. Yeah.
It's not just DC, David Cameron, that's shuffled off his position this week. Len Goodman.
yeah.
Len Goodman's out.
Oh, Len Goodman is a bigger loss, surely.
Yeah.
It's what I'm calling Lexit.
Lexit.
Frank,
Very
I
good.
love Lexit.
Very good.
I love it.
I mean, if the tabloids have missed out on Lexit as an opportunity, I wouldn't be surprised if some of them pick it up and run with it now that you've coined it.
But Len Goodman said what I thought was a brilliantly Len Goodman thing
Go on.
upon leaving, which was, Who would have thought that me, old Len Goodman, would still be part of this amazing series more than 10 years on? I mean, it's a bit Paul Insta-Governor. I love Len, but you can't call yourself... Because the implication is good old Len Goodman, frankly, isn't it?
Yes, but too many
old
goods.
Len Goodman.
Yeah. He's a nominative determinism, isn't he? Because he's a sort of a good... he's a good man.
Good man to be around, yeah.
I don't know if he is.
I think he might have been involved in some bother, maybe.
Do you think?
I'll tell you something, I bet it's not the first time he's opted to leave in recent weeks. Let's put it that way. But he's gone to live by his lovely riverside home.
Is that his plan?
Yeah. Can't remember what river.
Is that right?
What river was it? I can't remember.
Dunno.
7! Anyway, no, I made that up. I think he's actually...
Setup necessary for that punchline.
I think he's actually signed a $3.5 million contract to go and just do Dancing with the Stars and doesn't want to travel.
Oh, is that what it is?
But hey, I'm not,
Yeah, but what year is he leaving in? Because he's doing this series, so he will be leaving in...
2017.
Yeah,
exactly.
Is that what we're going for?
He's thought of that through.
Yeah, he's doing a slight Pellegrino of saying he's leaving, which is never as good there.
Is he going to do an Alex Ferguson, Frank? Is he going to be loitering around, making it impossible
I don't think
anyone?
he'll recommend David Moyes as his replacement.
That would be interesting, though, eh? If you got David Moyes in on Strictly.
Well, who is going to be the replacement? Because we've got Anton Dubek is in there, Tony Beak, firm favourite, at 2-1. Lionel Blair got in there.
Really?
Louis Spence.
The thing is, I've been offered...
What?
I've been offered to dance on there many times.
You?
Why haven't you done it? You'd be great.
Well, I'll show you why.
I don't want to see...
No, it's all right. I'm just going to dance now and listen to this at home, and you'll see what my problem is.
Oh, yeah.
You see, every time I wiggle, it's a nightmare.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Arlene... Oh, sorry, Al, I was going to say Arlene Phillips has put herself forward.
I liked her when she was on it before.
With Arlene.
Yeah, me too.
She threw shade at Len, though.
Well, he's going
What does that
anyway, it
mean?
doesn't matter.
It means being rude about someone.
Oh.
It's a bit of beef.
Yeah.
She called him tired and grumpy.
Really? That's not the way to
They
get
said,
a
who
job.
do you think she should present? She said, me, of course.
Did she?
The BBC will do what they want, though.
Yeah.
Did she say that?
Yeah, she did. Which I would say was a pretty accurate assessment.
Yeah. Well, what's the alternative to that? She's somehow holding them to ransom until they gave her holding her to ransom.
Esther Hansen.
Yeah, there you go.
She could do it.
Can I just read a communique from Sally East, which I like, talking about... Remember we were discussing Cameron's Lament?
S East.
Yes. Cameron's Lament.
Yeah.
As a graduate of the Open University, I think David's ditty... Do-do-do-do... reminds me of the Open University signature tune of the 80s.
Well, that's what I was
we watched
thinking of.
Men in Kipper Ties deliver really useful information for our studies at 6:30am.
Yeah, I did this early because I doubt if David Cameron watched the Open University. He went to did he go to the Oxbridge?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so he didn't need it. Oh, I used to when I was at Warwick University, they used to come in for the summer camps in the summer, the Open University people. What I used to love most of all was the amount of people you saw with the white ghost of a wedding ring on their finger that they took off in preparation for the summer camp. That's what they mean by Open University. Anyway, not everyone, don't text in.
It's the pampas grass lot.
I mean, you've recently decided that you like dancing, haven't you? You didn't like it, and then you had a go at it recently on a... Was it a television programme, and you said it was all right?
I did. I danced
you said it was all right. You
I
enjoyed
danced
it.
with Nicole Scherzinger.
That probably brightens things up a bit.
Right?
Frank's dance... Well, that image of you in your pants went viral.
That's true. Not the first time my pants have gone viral.
Very good. You could have left that there, but no.
I could have. No, I didn't want to. Because
Absolutely.
I thought, as I said it, I
You've
thought,
gotta
will
help
he leave it?
Not
Willy
at all.
Buffalo.
well, you have to help. You have to help the people who've nearly got it.
Yes.
That's what I always say. That's what the doctor said when he
Yes.
looked at my pants.
Once again, could have left it.
No.
Willie Buffalo.
I didn't get that big house from leaving it.
Frank
Skinner.
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
So would you be a judge on Strictly? Would you?
Well, I'd feel a
give
bit
the judging
I'd feel a
burl?
bit out. I mean, there are certain areas of dance I know a lot about, but I don't think I've ever seen the conga
Right.
on Strictly.
They don't
or
talk
twisting.
about- they
They've
don't
never
talk
twisted on there. Can you believe that?
Oh, have they not?
No, I've never seen a twist on
must
there.
have. Oh.
No.
What about a rumba?
It's not
Opportunity
taken.
missed.
Oh no, not while I'm working, madam.
Yeah, let's finish this link.
Not while I'm on
Blimey.
duty. No, I that's it for me. I mean, I like when they talk about, you know, she's did a fabulous treble camisole and stuff like that,
Oh,
you
yeah,
know, and I don't like when they generalise. I like really hardcore specifics.
Oh,
on it.
yes, I do. I like the technical.
Yeah, that's the good thing about. Well, I mean, your hands, darling, and all that
Yes.
stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes. But I think, you know, I think a bit of comedy wouldn't go amiss.
Well, Ricky Gervais is at 500 to 1 according to the bookies.
Chris Evans, 200 to 1.
Is he?
David Cameron, 1,000 to 1. Who's going to put that bet on there? I mean, you're just giving the bookmaker some of your money. aren't
Exactly,
you?
ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous.
After Leicester won, people think long shots are a safe bet now. That's what's happened there.
Yeah, you're right.
Claudio Ranieri, what can you get for him being the next judge on Strictly?
I'd like to see Roy on there.
Oh, that'd be good. You're going
With
to
the
wheel out
giant
your Roy
watch.
Hodgson impression again?
No, I'm not
Oh,
gonna
go
do
on.
That's one of the most remarkable wonders I've seen. Oh dear. 7?
What about a few weeks ago? Tom Hiddleston danced with
Fiddlesticks.
and he said in the interview afterwards, "I love to dance. Who doesn't?"
Yeah, true.
He could be in
Do
there.
you know,
Right.
he's making a giant fool of himself, that one. But
Is
that's a
he?
whole other story.
Right,
Okay.
might want to be careful. He could
I
be,
like the
could be
idea
in
of
your
someone
seat in a
making
week, Frank.
a
If he's
giant
making a giant fool of himself, isn't it?
Could be.
It's
Amazing.
it's your turf.
Who knows?
Well, I have respect for him. I'm losing it.
All right, you mean because of the
See, that's where I'm lucky.
Dalliance.
I'm lucky I had no respect for him. I only recently found out who he was. I
You're
mean,
still not entirely
you have
sure.
to earn. You have to earn it. You know what I'm saying?
It's all gone a
Yeah.
bit Fame the Musical.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm wearing leg warmers under. I'd love to start wearing leg warmers just with trousers.
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
you can wear that.
Yeah, I don't think I could carry it off. Maybe
You've got your legs are one of your best features.
I know. So why spoil the line with a leg warmer?
point. Good point.
8, 12, 15.
This is
Frank Skinner. Absolute Radio.
Okay.
Yeah,
Do
this
your
is,
business,
this is
love.
sorry. This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. Text us on 8, 12, 15, please. Follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio, if you will. Email the show via the Absolute Radio website, if you over mind to.
We did receive an email that I think might have been mischief saying, Frank, what's the email address for the show? Because you never say that. You just say email via the website. I think it might have been somebody stirring.
I'm not doing a www.
They may be,
You're
maybe they
doing
want
more
to
of a
encourage
WC
that.
Fields.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, the good news is a lot of people are buying my photography fluid opacity.
Is
Well-
it yours?
No, but, well, it should be now. I mean, I bet they've never sold so many in their entire lives.
I mean, that's fine,
it's
but
a
I've
bit-
just had to wash some powder off my cheeks, so I don't know if... I mean, it's worked on my forehead, but my cheeks were a bit powdery.
That's not powder, it's photography fluid opacity.
Yeah, but I don't want that. I don't want to walk around with what looks like powder on my cheeks, so I mean, I'm just...
Well-
the results are mixed.
That'll take the edge off that sudden burst of sales. Anyway.
It's not powder, it's a cream. Sorry to sound so aggressive. I
nice.
just take it very seriously. I tell you what, love you. Tell you what I do want to talk about is growing old gracefully.
Oh, okay.
There was a survey this week which was very dear to my heart because it's centred around the concept that, you know, certain things are just verboten
Yeah.
once you get past a certain age.
Yes.
For example, they said in this survey that miniskirts have to come off at 39, apparently.
That's a waist size, though, isn't it? 39-inch waist.
I don't know.
No replica shirts, football shirts, by the age of 42. What do you think of that, boys?
I think no replica football shirts would have been a better rule.
Really?
I still
You're not a fan?
I favour the scarf.
I do.
Still.
Yeah.
Nice thing about the scarf, it looks as good on a fat person as a thin person.
Yes.
Replica shirt, you can't say that
Better
for.
sometimes. You can hide
It's
a multitude.
less the replica shirt I take issue with. It's the bleached jean and the slip-on. With the replica shirt.
Where do you stand on the replica shirt over ski jacket for winter games?
I'm going to
Which
start...
I've always been a fan of.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to start wearing the full replica kit, I think. I'm going to wear shorts and socks.
Pete Donaldson.
That'd be good. That might confuse players, and if they see me moving down the terracing, they might think,
Right.
all right, there's one of our players making a break down the left.
I'd like you to wear full replica kit except for the shirt. So you wear the shorts,
just the
you wear-
bottoms.
and then just a really smart shirt.
Yeah, and tie. Dress shirt and tie. But then I look like I've just jumped out the window because her husband's come home.
Oh, yeah. Leggings have to go at 43.
Oh dear, best tell my partner, who loves a legging.
Does she like a legging? Well, she's got the legs for it, hasn't she? Leggings often favoured by those who, the legging isn't their best friend, but not in Kath's case. Also skinny jeans at 47.
Well, jeans at 50.
Really?
Do you reckon
Definitely.
50?
All jeans at 50.
Oh, I don't know. I think denim at 60 is going to be my cut-off.
No.
Well, someone
What,
better
you're
tell
gonna
the
wear
Top Gear
cut-off?
boys.
Denim cut-offs.
Yeah, exactly. I love denim, though, but I do think there will come a point of stoppage where...
Have you... Sorry, Al.
Yeah, I think it's got to go. But I don't want it to go at 50. It's too soon.
Al, Frank, have you totally stopped with denim?
I would wear a denim jacket with a non-denim trouser.
Okay, Bewitched.
But jeans...
Extraordinary.
jeans, I think... I like jeans. I like the feel of them. Mm-hmm. Rear of the year 1999, still a bit of that in there. But I'll tell you, I saw Jonathan Miller at a production of La Boheme in a pair of jeans, and I thought, never again.
I totally understand that, Frank.
Yeah.
Were they like elasticated waist jeans?
They were
though,
baggy
that
jeans.
bought from the Daily Mail or something
They were
like those ones?
certainly baggy.
Right.
I know that look.
Don't
It's
wear
a bit.
those, just-
I'm a big fan of Robert Peston, but I can imagine him in a jean, maybe of a weekend.
Oh, no, I imagine him in a rippling chino.
Yeah, you're right.
So wide.
You're right.
Nice.
Also, this is controversial. I think trainers at 49.
Oh, I'm not having that.
See,
No
that
way.
doesn't allow for... you see... Sometimes I've seen older actors and stuff like that at posh do's, and they got a suit and that on, but they got a pair of black trainers just for the feet, just for the comfort.
Mick Jagger in a platform black Reebok. I
Yeah,
think so.
exactly.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that. You got to allow, when you get to a certain age, the gnarled feet.
Also, I think, to be honest,
I love that song, Crazy. I didn't know that was the
Crazy.
from what I've read of Mick Jagger this week, there are many age-related cut-off points that he is eschewing, I would say. He's
That's
He's still got it, hasn't he?
He's still got it. I just wish he'd keep it to himself.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
390 has texted, at what age do I have to stop wearing my safari suit?
I think you can carry on with that forever.
I think that's
No, but nice to hear from
perennial.
nice to hear from Bob Downs after all these years. Kitty has tweeted us, and she says, "I'm 50 soon." This is Kitty, not me, FY.
Yeah.
And I will still wear my hashtag jeans, hashtag denim forever.
Well, I think with
Emoji thumb
with
aloft.
females, I think it's okay. Because you can look like one of those rich old American women over here on holiday who wear jeans and stuff.
I'm hoping to look like one of those Russian ladies.
Yeah, I think women look great in jeans forever, probably, but for men... You don't think so?
I'm not so
Oh,
sure.
dear.
The jury's out, isn't it? We've also
Really?
had a text saying, Frank, and then it goes to caps, no jeans at 50, please no. I just bought 2 pairs and I'm 49. I hope to get my money's worth.
Yeah, you have to wear them every day.
that's a
Yeah,
shame.
but even then
Lots-
you're not going to get your money's
Cost per
worth.
wear.
You can do lots of
Exactly,
kneeling.
cost per wear. Buy an expensive pair of selvage denim jeans and then wear them to death and then replace them. That's how to do
I mean,
it.
wear them till death.
Yeah, exactly.
I
at
think
that age.
white jeans for ladies have a cut-off point.
Do you?
White jean
Oh, yeah.
cut-offs. Like on Starsky and
Well,
Hutch or something.
I
like
just
that.
think a white jean it's sort of in the miniskirt area, isn't it? It's a bit Hello Boys.
It is.
This survey says you have to give up hair gel at 41. No,
dear.
that's never even occurred to me that that's a young man's game. Hair gel. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, hair products, it went so
What do
far
you-
as to say. I think that's
Does it say
ridiculous.
that?
I mean,
What are
No.
you meant to do if you're
But
42?
darling, you two are performers. You're fine. You're exempt
but
from the
my
rule.
allowed.
my dad carried on using, butter on his hair.
use butter?
Always. Into his 70s. He just, smartened himself in the mirror, just reached down into the butter dish.
Would he?
On it went, yeah.
So we've had somebody text about moisturising with coconut oil. If you take that on and put butter in your hair, you could have your full breakfast right in front of you.
You're organic.
Yeah.
I'm all for that. Yeah, that one surprised me. I've never even thought of that as me trying to,
No.
They had
not
some
so
other
sure about
ones
that.
as well. There was another one which was no nightclubs.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think no, which I agree with. I don't know about you guys. There was no nightclubs past. What was it, Al?
It's
Was
like
it
24 or something.
It was pretty young. Yeah.
It was young.
Yeah.
Nightclubs at 24, because I definitely carried on with nightclubs longer than that. Definitely.
I've never liked nightclubs, even when I was a child. Yes,
Well,
I went to nightclubs as a child. Did you meet my parents? Thank you.
Yeah, I carried on with that past 24, for sure.
No staying out past midnight at 52. Past 52. I think that's fair
Well,
enough.
depends. What about when you start wandering? I think you have to factor that in.
Well, I
No
have
one
a
wants
friend-
to see you out past midnight at 52. No one wants to see you out.
I have a friend who doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, doesn't
Is it me?
do anything of like illegal narcotics, which are illegal anyway, so he couldn't, obviously. But he says quite often nothing good happens for him after midnight. Like it's all the good stuff's done.
No, I can see that. Look, can we just get straight to it? What's the cut-off age for an Absolute Radio presenter? I mean, that's what we're building up to. You're all going, that's the elephant in the room. Or is it like the 200-year-old Galapagos Island tortoise in the room?
Yeah.
Oh,
you're
that's
right.
good. I haven't got that in my Pokemon Go collection.
But I mean, that's what I want to know. The cut-off point for an Absolute Radio presenter. Come on! What is it?
Text in.
8, 12, 15.
60.
8, 12, 15.
Frank
Skinner.
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
I'm a woman, very nearly 50. Again, not my words. Can we make that absolutely clear? And have never even considered the fact that I can't wear my jeans inside.
I've said women can wear jeans
Oh,
inside.
thanks very much, Simone de Beauvoir.
That's all right.
I don't feel any older than 35, except after I've been out the night before. Forgive the lack of punctuation and grammar in my text. I'm using my speakerphone. That's Mary from Berkshire. Thank you very much for that, Mary. Although I would argue that ship has sailed during which you're allowed to use the speakerphone.
Oh, what's wrong with the speaker?
What's the cut-off?
It's a young person's game. It's like FaceTime. You don't want some old craggy... I'm not suggesting Mary is, but I wouldn't FaceTime anyone intentionally. Has anyone in this room FaceTimed anyone intentionally? No.
I've never FaceTimed anyone. Full stop.
I think Mary... I think Mary's probably a lovely, fragrant woman.
I think Mary from Berkshire,
Well,
I'm picturing her
possibly
using
know
her
that.
speakerphone whilst at the wheel of a Range Rover or similar.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what I'm picturing. So,
Yes.
you know,
Okay.
who's the winner there then?
Love you,
Emily Dean.
love you, Maz.
I'm imagining she's throwing a small vase
Oh, yeah.
on a potter's wheel. That's why she's on the
Yeah, she needs her hands
speakerphone.
free.
It's a strange request, 359. Can Frank sing a song, please? Maybe one of those weird ones from his childhood about mouses. I've never heard anything so strange.
I
Why
think
not? It's
He's
been a weird show.
referring to Gracie Fields. Ours is a nice house, ours is. There's a line that goes, ours is a nice house, ours is. It's got no rats or mouses. It's cheap, cheap, cheap. Sweep, sweep, sweep. Ours is a nice house, ours is.
One of
There you
those
go.
weird songs from his
Just,
childhood.
like, the thing is, somebody texted and asked for that, and rather than going, am I a monkey here to perform, Frank just went, yeah, I'll do that.
I'm happy
Why
to
wouldn't
do
I?
that.
Absolutely willing.
Is there
Weird,
anything
because
else
you can
out?
be stubborn. There's a text I enjoy. My granddad was a devotee of Vaseline hair tonic,
Oh,
so
yes.
my mum had to invest in some antimacassars whenever he visited.
That's, yes,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
antimacassars were crucial in the old days because of the greasy hair.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely crucial.
Of course.
393. If I can't stay up past midnight beyond 52, where can I buy my Stay Pressed Crimpling trousers to replace my jeans if I can't watch late night shopping channels? That's Paul. I think that's a very fine point.
Just record it. When can
can't
you stop
record
using
that.
Sky Plus? It's a terrible thing, this. Can I... some of my own theories.
Sure.
What are your own?
Turn-ups on jeans.
Whoa.
6 years of age,
Whoa.
I would say. Yeah.
Is that for men and women?
Women, I think, okay. Uh-oh.
The cockerel has just exposed himself on the jeans area, on the lower jean area.
I think if you're a semi-professional country and western singer, or you're below 6 years of age, turn-ups on jeans are fine. Other than that, come on, grow up.
It's a bit on the waterfront, isn't it? It's harking back to a yesteryear.
I think the youth to this, I'm gonna... And also save a few bob on, getting it turned up with a machine.
I've got a few, as you can imagine. Where do I begin? Okay. I would say, I definitely think, how can you be a goth past 25?
Oh, I hope so.
I mean, I love a goth, don't get me wrong. I just think 62-year-old goth looks a bit damaged.
Well, I wrote a sitcom pilot, which was rejected by every broadcaster in the This is absolutely true. A script, and in it I played a goth football manager who was an ex-player but who got very interested in goth culture and was in all black and the leather overcoat and
Why is
everything.
that rejected? I'd watch that.
Sounds fun, doesn't it?
love
Doing
it.
post-match interviews, talking about going up to Whitby weekend and stuff like that. Everyone, I mean, nobody would take it.
Which surprises me.
I think it's
because
one
I
of the
like the
few
sound
pieces
of
of work I've done that has been universally rejected. But I thought the idea of a goth
I don't know
football
about
manager. Well, there's been others, but that was the biggie. It was called Just Managing.
Yeah.
Hey?
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
There was a hugely exciting moment in the studio just then.
Yes, I had a creature on me.
Frank had, I believe it was a slowpoke on his shoulder.
I haven't had a slowpoke for some 15 years.
Oh no, it might have been a drowsy. Anyway,
He's had a
It
try.
was
I'm afraid I have a drowsy most of the time.
it was part of Pokemon Go, which I'm very heavily into.
Yeah.
And I know what you're going to say, boys.
I'm going to say it.
What am I going to say? Go on, you say
If I'm not allowed gene turn-ups, you're definitely too old for Pokemon Go. I'm just saying. Just saying.
I know. I think you might be right.
Hashtag just saying.
I'm going to agree with you
I might
on
be
this.
too old
It's
for hashtag.
hugely undignified. It's
Yeah.
so undignified, but in a way...
It is a bit.
So is drinking, but people still do it.
Yep.
I can't
Yes,
help
sure.
it.
I agree with that. Well, this is the craze that's
Sweeping
thingying the nation, sweeping the nation. Somebody should. There's too much litter.
I like the craze that's
It's like
episode of Newsround in 1982.
I love the idea of people sweeping the nation. Sometimes they scour the nation when it's really dirty.
They do, yeah.
It's great, Pokemon Go. Would you two? I'll tell you what's good about it.
Who's
is
got
that
room
it
on their phone for
encourages-
more apps?
It's always the money with you, isn't it?
No, it's the size of my phone. My phone's full. I can't take a photograph 3 days
What's
of
good
a week.
is, although
without
on the
deleting.
plus side, you both remember to have children, and what it does is it encourages your young ones, supervised, to go outside. Because the idea behind it is that I think they felt. I'm not suggesting they were sort of, they felt guilty, but I think they realised that there'd been a lot of complaints about video games making children just staying inside.
Video
stationary.
games.
And this
Sorry.
means
I
you
want
go
to
out.
encourage them to go outside. I'll get a couple of devil dogs. I don't really understand Pokemon Go, but I've just seen a picture of myself with a big yellow creature. I mean, I remember...
Not for the first time.
What I like...
Like that trip to Lanzarote, let's not talk about it.
What I like about it is that it's suddenly become the hottest, trendiest thing to do, but it's Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like if I invented some new Furby craze.
Yeah.
It's like, it's Pokemon. I know it's ongoing because I see the sort of trading cards in Toys R Us.
Oh, do you?
But suddenly Pokemon is like as big as it was when it first came out.
Well, the likes
I like
of me
that.
are adopting it.
What
for
I'm saying is
example.
it's given me hope that something that was once very popular and then dipped can come back again to the same popularity.
He's suggesting Pokemon is coming home in some
Well,
sense.
I have seen graffiti that says Frank Skinner Go on the Absolute Radio building. So I don't know if they're hoping that app will arrive.
I've still got hope for just managing. Because I love the sound of that sitcom.
Sounds like a good
I think they've
sitcom.
really missed something there.
Well, maybe I'll start reading it in instalments on the show.
Oh, that'd be fun. That would be
I
great.
think it was a bit rude in parts, but I could censor it.
Ian Angle, baseball cap, back to front, cut off 10.
10 years old. Yeah.
I mean, there's no pun for once with Ian
It's a
Angle.
good
He's
shame.
just angry.
Yeah. Angly. That's what he is. Very angly. That's people who are furious, but they still manage to get a pun out.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
On the subject of things being cut off after a certain age, I must give
Steady on,
credit to...
Be very, very careful, Alan Cochrane.
I must give credit to Daisy, the person who usually produces this show, because she said something to me ages ago that has always stayed with me, that when she meets an adult and they have sugar in their tea, she thinks, grow up. And I think there is a bit of that. Like,
Yeah,
you kind of go,
I do.
you're 45 and you're having sugar in your
But
tea.
I think
What's
of
wrong with
sugar
you?
as something that the elderly have in their tea.
Yeah, maybe they come back to it. But, like, I'll be honest, a little like Daisy, I feel a bit like that about biscuits. I just think,
I
you know,
just had
biscuits,
two.
you should... Yeah, and Frank earlier on, he saw that there was a bowl of Oreos, and he was like, Alan Bennett at it. He's like, oh, they've let the Oreos go soft. Still nice, though. That's what he said. Still nice, though. And like, God.
I said to Mother, would you like an Oreo? She said, no, come on, we'll be late, we're going to Ripon.
I think,
You know,
I
get
don't know
into
if you
dark
can...
chocolate and...
I don't know if you can
know,
call
grow
women
up.
hot men, I'm afraid, past the age of, I'm going to go 35. Because the voice register lowers as a man. And it's like, oh, she's hot. That's all right, but I don't like, she's hot. That's what men get to sound a bit high court judgy as they get older.
No, I
This
don't.
is
I don't
tricky.
say hot. I say things like, she's got a nice bust.
And
think
that,
you can-
Frank Skinner, is why I love you.
It's important that your sexism
Yes.
keeps that when it's original source. I
It's,
think.
Yeah.
Sexism has always got to be age appropriate.
Can I say I disapprove of sexism in all its manifestations? But there is something still great about the word bust.
Should we call it admiration for the female form
Yes,
rather than
admiration,
sexism?
but bust seems to... I always associate it with, like, middle-aged women having a bra made when I was a kid.
Uh-huh.
And I need
yes.
one. I need one with my bust.
It was the kind of... It was like a man I hadn't worked with for some time, and I was only about 27, and he said, oh, you've kept your figure? And I thought that was a strange thing to say to a 27-year-old. What did you think was going to happen?
Yeah, there's not much
you kept your
atrophy
figure.
at
You look good. You
27.
kept your figure.
I had a thing the other week. I was in a restaurant with my son who's 4, and I went up to get him. I was getting him drinks, and me. So we were having a soft drink each.
Yeah.
And I said, "Can we have straws?" And the bloke put both the straws in his drink.
Oh.
And I took one out and put it in mine. And then I thought, it's all right, straws.
You're too
in
old
it.
for a straw.
Am I too old for a drinking straw?
Oh. I mean, if that is a rule, there is
I mean,
going to
it's
be...
different for women, because
Excuse
often
me,
they're
I've got something
protected.
to say. Yeah.
I've seen women having a quick drink on Babecast, and they often use a straw. They use a straw so the lipstick
What a lovely
stays all right.
reference.
And this is a long time ago when it was a novelty.
you know what it's
There was
also
a time
useful
when
for?
Babecast was the Pokemon Go of the generation.
Not sure.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if the Pokemon were going, come on, guys, why don't you cook? Then I think it'd be
I
very
want you
unpopular.
to call me. No, you didn't get many slow pokes on there.
No, but I think...
You know what I was going to say
for
to you,
me,
Frank?
can I use
Sorry.
a
Sorry.
drinking straw?
Yes, can I tell you why?
Go on.
I use drinking straw. Now, the reason for this is if teeth bleachers depend on the straw.
Yes, but I mean in the general course of life.
I think it's fine. I think
it?
it's quite cute. I think you can carry it off.
An old
Next.
face with a straw in it, there's an element of drip about it. A hospital
I love
drip.
that Rembrandt painting.
Yes, I've never seen that one. But, well, okay. I mean, obviously I use them if I'm hiding under the surface of a lake,
Frank's got...
pursued by vigilantes, I'll use a drinking straw for breathing
rule.
purposes, yeah.
Al, Frank's got quite strict rules about taking the driving test as well. Frank says you should... Do you think you should drive before 30, was it?
I think 30 is early enough to start.
Early enough? What do
I
you
think
mean?
you should
I thought
start at 30.
What, driving test?
Well, I used to think anyone who couldn't drive after 30 was troubled.
Now, why
way.
don't you still think that?
I think there'd be less cars on the road, and it would be safer driving. There'd be less sort of boy racers if you couldn't get a licence till you were 30.
Oh, it's come full circle.
You can't have L plates when you've got wrinkles. It's embarrassing.
No. Depends what the activity is.
I don't know. I've seen a few Hindus with L plates and wrinkles, so I suppose it's, it's how it goes.
What a double act.
I know.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
390, Al. Sorry, quickly. The trouble with an old face in a straw is that it looks like the face is being sucked into the drink.
That is a good point.
Yeah, that I had a non-wrinkly face, and then such is the pressure coming from some mysterious force below that my skull is leaving through my mouth.
Thank you,
you don't want
390.
That's
when
a good
you're
one.
trying to enjoy a lime and soda or similar. Yeah.
No, I
What
think
were you going to read
the
out?
drinking. Maybe just an unhinged drinking store I could get away with at my age.
Yes.
But one with the bend. I think that's too modern.
We've had quite a few texts saying that they would love to hear a weekly instalment of your sitcom Red Hour.
Just managing.
I'll find.
Just managing
I'll
is
have a
the
look.
title, is it?
I'll have a look.
And the theme music's got to be goth, like The Cure or something, Frank.
Oh,
What would you do? A goth version of
Nine
Three
Inch
Lions?
Nails or something.
Well, let's
Yeah.
let's
The
work
Mission.
on it. Let's work on it off air, maybe, so that there's a spoil.
Yeah.
Is there any female characters in it? And can I play one?
One of the things he does when things... he actually co-manages with a woman. They bring in a woman as a gimmick manager and get him as the solid face of football. But whenever he has troubles, he goes to this goth cafe and talks to the goth waitress about life.
I think I'm more the manager, don't you? The Karen Brady figure?
Yeah, maybe. And there was a
Where I
thing...
fit
It was...
in.
Do you remember The Manageress?
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
loved
TV show.
it.
What was
Sherry,
she?
Sherry Lungy.
Sherry Longy. Indeed.
It looked like you were scribbling that down
Killed
for the
her in the
casting director.
Yes. So, one other thing about cut-off pie. I now tell me if I'm wrong about this, but I oft reprimand my mother-in-law, who is now 74. I think. I don't think she'll mind me saying that. But when she's sort of encouraging of something, she'll say, "Yay."
Oh.
Yay! And I don't think you can do that. Not at 74, dear.
Yeah.
Hey, I wouldn't mind, or hooray.
I like
Yay.
the very Derek Jacobi use of dear here.
Yeah, I know, but yay.
I know, I agree, Frank.
I liked it last week when we saw her for brunch and she said "Boo Yorkshire" and did a high five. I thought that was really good.
Well, I'm tired. Well, it wasn't that high. It was as high as she could reach. It's a high-ish 5.
244 thinks there should be an age limit for novelty keyrings. There's something disturbing about a grown woman attaching collections of them to her bag, purse and jangling around all over the place.
Well, as you know, I've got Hong Kong Phooey on my keyring, which was bought for me by...
I know, but I thought you'd seen someone about that.
Well, you bought it for me.
I did.
Because I kept getting the lyric wrong.
That's right.
I thought it was Never Seen a Better Guy, and it's actually Number One Super Guy.
That's it.
And that is actually on the keyring. So it's, in many ways, it's an aide de memoir. some have What Would Jesus Do? I have Number One Super Guy. And a picture, obviously, of Hong Kong Phooey, or Denry, for those of you who prefer his
I have
secret identity.
Louis Vuitton, so it takes all sorts.
It does, yeah. Every dog has his day. So,
What a response.
Sarah...
Is that part of the same conversation? I'm not sure.
Hong Kong Phooey is a dog.
That's true, yeah.
And he's in the same company now as Louis Vuitton. So, that's fair enough, I think. Thank you so much for listening this morning. And you know what? If the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again this time next week. Now get out.
The Frank Skinner Show on Absolute Radio. Back Saturday morning from 8. Tune in live for the full Frank experience.
Absolute Radio.